Welcome into another Red Out podcast. My name's Devin. Welcome back with us. We got Jared coming in. We should have Crazy Man Matt here in a second, and we'll talk Western versus North Texas. We're going to recap the UAB game. Missed that one, Jared. And we'll talk about it a little bit more. Stick with us.
Hey, how about them tops, son?
All day, SEC boys. SEC, they supposed to be SEC. Crazy all day, baby.
You're listening to the Red Out Podcast.
I am not ashamed to admit in the past, I've needed a therapist. We all need someone, and it's a strong person who can admit it. I talked to my doctor, who referred me to a therapist, and I really didn't have much say as to who the therapist was. But with this episode's sponsor, Betterhelp, you do. You can filter out who you would like to talk to, age, gender, religion, and more to pair you with the person who works best for you. And if the person isn't exactly who you were wanting, you're not stuck. You can switch counselors. BetterHelp strives to offer affordable, professional, and accessible online therapy. So go to betterhelp.com/redout today to save 10%. By doing this, you not only support us, you can work toward a brighter, healthier you. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Yes, thank you, BetterHelp. We appreciate your support. And you can support our podcast by using the affiliate link, Red Out Podcast. It BetterHelp. Just use that in the put in Red Out whenever you sign up for it, and it'll help us out, and it'll help you, give you a discount there. So thank you again to BetterHelp. How's it going, Jared? How's it going, Matt?
Pretty good.
What up?
Jared, you just came off vacation, right?
Yeah, it was really nice. I had a lot of fun.
Like, isn't that the worst, though, coming back from vacation?
Yeah, I mean, I made it to Florida in 7 hours, though.
Not bad.
I was scooting in my Jeep. I only stopped once the whole way down there just for gas. I do everything at the same time. So
Yeah. Hey, I don't blame you.
You made it in 7 hours?
yeah.
I mean, that is impressive in one of those little 18-volt cars, right, man?
No, I got a Jeep. It's got 4-wheel drive. What you talking about, Devin?
Dude, you had to go. What part of Florida did you go to? Because I'm trying to think.
Fort
You
Walton,
get there from
Fort Walton Beach,
Walton.
Destin over there.
okay.
That's not too bad, then.
No, I actually went to
Yeah.
Miami again, Matt, in 7 hours.
Yeah, you made it to Miami in 7.
God.
Dude, I'm just doing the math. I'm like, that is impossible unless you were going.
That's pretty good.
For legal purposes, I'm not going to say how fast I was driving.
Thank you. Oh, you go do everyone else.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, can you say hi, everybody?
Hello.
Hey, girl.
You say go Tops. Say go Tops. There you
That's
go.
close. That's close.
Okay, go play with Gaga. Go play with Gaga. Good girl. There you go. Go play with Gaga.
My kids.
She's
do
already
that.
dreaming about hijacking your
Hi.
podcast.
We really can't go in restaurants or out of restaurants.
Mm.
She has to talk to everybody, and you can hear her still, probably.
Yep, my kids do that, man. Like if the phone comes on in the car or something like that, and they're like,
Oh,
"Hi,
yeah.
hi. This is a business call. Shut up. Shut up."
Yeah, let's talk
trying to
about
pay.
your mother's life. Let's talk about your mother's life insurance. Daddy, hi. Shut up! Don't stop it. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jeez.
No.
I'm trying to pay for your daycare. You turd.
Daycare is awful. Daycare really is. Like, the cost of daycare is ridiculous, but I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Like, I can't blame people who own daycare. Go ahead.
Did I tell you what it cost in Franklin, Tennessee? Somebody
No.
told me this, and it, like, for real blew my mind. One kid, $50,000.
What? Like, how much? Like, is that a year or a month or what?
$50,000.
Like, what's the time frame for that charge?
Like a year. So, like
Oh, wow.
1 year.
Man, we got kids out here on contracts like professional sports, professional athletes.
Yeah.
God.
That is wild. That is wild for I don't know specifically. Let me see. Ours is I'm doing the math in my head real quick. It's not $50,000, I can tell you that. I mean, I think it's like closer to like between $6,000 and $7,000 a year. So I mean it's not expensive, but it's not cheap either.
Okay, that's
And
not bad.
actually,
Yeah, ours is
and
in the teens. Ours is in the teens.
Actually,
for 2 kids. So
my daughter got bit again at daycare. I'm ready to whoop this kid, but he got kicked out of daycare. So no joke, 3 and out, dude.
There you go.
This kid bit 3 times, and he got kicked out straight up. Told him hit bricks. I don't. I
around over there.
No, they don't say names, but Abby was like, we were like, who bit you? And she's like, said the name, and I was, as an adult, you're like, is she just making up a name, or is this like a legit name?
Right.
I'll just say Snoopy. I'm not going to say the kid's name.
You're not just going to dog some like 2-year-old kid on the podcast.
Yeah, she was like Snoopy did it, and I was like, really?
Yeah, he's gonna get
so as the parent,
and everything, the next can get hate mail.
Man,
yes, you can contact Snoopy at. But no, this person, I actually went into daycare like the next day, and I went through because you got to sign them in. So I went to the different rooms, and I kind of acted like I was like, oops, I just looked at the wrong sheet, and I was like, Snoopy. Oh, there is a Snoopy. I was like, oh, so maybe she does know who she's talking about. So the little secretary that day, they told me that she got bit again. She was like, hey, I got an incident report for you to sign. And I said, yeah, she told me about it. I said, is the kid's name Snoopy? And she kind of looked at me like, oh, how do you know that? And I was like, well, Abby told me that Snoopy did it. And she was like, oh, well, if she said it, then I can kind of say, yeah, that's right. And I was like, oh, okay. So Snoopy ain't there no more. Snoopy's gonna have to go back to his doghouse. All that's I gotta say.
Nice.
But speaking of Snoopy, we actually have a new addition to the house, the new Stewart household. We have Cooper, our new golden retriever puppy that I got Saturday.
Oh, there you go.
He's 8 weeks, and he is hell on wheels, dude. Let me tell you.
I imagine.
My wife's like, you want 2 kids? She's like, you want 2 kids? This dog kept us up like all weekend. I ended up sleeping on the floor with him Saturday night, Sunday morning. Went to bed at like 12:30, woke up at almost 4 and got in bed. And then I think he woke up a little bit later, but he's starting to calm down, so he's doing a little better, but still it's just like, oh my gosh. So I guess we're midway through our winners and losers with this, but I guess we can kind of talk about it now, Matt, if you want to. Loser Bailey Zappi this week.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say loser is because he's getting benched for Mac Jones.
We're just going to call him a loser.
And it's not really his.
Well, we have turned on Bailey.
I'm not saying he's a loser.
The second half, yes. I mean, he still came in and threw for a touchdown pass like immediately, and they had the lead, but he didn't do like Jack Diddley squat in the second half, which was pretty bad.
Well, and I mean, I'm not blaming him. First off, he's a professional athlete, and I couldn't do that in Madden, much less in real life. So I'm not undercutting him whatsoever. But sometimes life hits you, and you get knocked down, and it's not fair. And Mac Jones kind of starting over him. Some of the fans are kind of like, oh, why is he starting? Bailey Zappi's doing so much better. And I think there's other factors that go into it.
If I was Bill, I wouldn't have said who's starting until the game. That way, whoever they play has
that's
to
kind of against
teams.
his. Yeah, that's kind of against his MO usually.
I was going to say mantra or.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it says like on the door to his office, like F the media, right?
Yeah.
Go to hell.
Yeah, and he like smacks the like you know like some of the teams like smack the motto as they go by. He's like smacking F the media. Bam. Get those guys.
As many vague answers as possible.
Exactly.
Remember, like the
But
whole "we're on to Cincinnati." Like that's all he said that one time, just repeatedly.
I could, you know what? I would love to see like him doing like breaking the huddle with the coaches, and he'd be
Pretty
like,
break.
and they're like, okay, let's go talk to the media. Ready? On three. Vague answers on three. 1, 2, 3. Vague answers.
He should have just said he's starting the quarterback that's white and has short brown hair.
He's the quarterback for the Patriots. He's white. He's got hair. Yeah.
Well,
Honestly,
he still could have said looks like either one of them, and
Yeah,
it still would have worked because they look like freaking twin brothers.
that is true.
Does Mac have a franchise tag or anything or no?
I
I
don't
think
think
that could be
so. I think he's on his rookie contract. He's just a couple years into the league.
Okay, and maybe that's why he's starting is because he's got that extra year on Zappe. Truth be told,
Mm-hmm.
I know Matt kind of got into a debate with Jake from the Towel Rack in a group text about who should start, and I'm not making it public as to the comments, but Jake thinks Zapp should start. Matt's thinks that he shouldn't because he doesn't like him. And so I'm just trying to air that.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for framing it so well, Devin. And now I don't have to say anything, right?
No, you're good.
But
honestly, there's more factors to it, and I think that's what you were trying to say to him.
yeah. I mean, like,
go ahead.
yeah. Well, there's certain things like, and I get crap because people are like, "You're a manager, you don't know what you're talking about," or whatever. But like when you're in a program, you just get exposed to how things work sometimes, versus like you're just a fan and you're watching from afar. So like being the quarterback manager, I sat there and watched all the QB battles from 09 to 14, and like people would be commenting on social media and stuff like, "Oh, Brendan Doughty should start," or "Where's Pelasasa," or whatever. And the thing is
That's
that
a name I haven't heard in forever.
yeah, he's doing well. Got a bunch of kids. I don't know what's up, Pele. Pile of salsa.
I was like, what's his first name now? Now that you got that's a old good.
Matt.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, Matt
Pelasasa.
Man, I haven't thought of him about him in forever. Go ahead.
That dude had a booming voice. But anyway, but yeah. Well, they did this competition to see who could be louder, and he was like echoing off the walls. But anyway, so, on the snap count. But anyway, what I was going to say was when you see that up close, it's just a little bit different than what you see in the media and what from Twitter and stuff like that, because there's more to it. There's respect in the locker room. Mac Jones is already established and he's the veteran. So you have to make sure, especially in a QB battle, that you're not going to create a bunch of drama in the locker room by just changing things up because you think one player is a little bit better than the other, maybe.
Or posting something on Instagram and making one of the quarterbacks mad. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do the daggy. Teach me how to daggy. But anyway, it's just, I think we as fans, you just don't know everything going on. My point about Zappe is, he probably is better, but Mac Jones has the inside track because number one, he already won the job. He was already declared like, this is our starter.
Yeah.
So, you solidify that as like, this is our guy. And then within a few weeks, you're going to this rookie that is unproven and lost the job in camp. Like, it's got to be a clear winner or you're going to end up going back to the guy that was the original starter. And so that's why there's a debate. And I think fans get caught up in that stuff.
Well, I mean, and honestly, like I agree with that sentiment. And I think fans will be like in this instance specifically, like you see, they say Mac Jones is a starter, and you're just like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden he starts stinking. They have some bad games. They lost to the Dolphins, which anytime somebody loses to the Dolphins, you need to change quarterbacks. But
Hey, we're undefeated with Tua
yeah.
being healthy. It's just that's the problem is that he's very, very injury prone.
well, I mean, they lost to the Ravens, the Packers, and the Packers stink this year. But
We beat the Ravens. What are you talking about?
well, anyway, I'm just saying the Packers stink. But anyway, and I'm hating on myself. But anyway, like anytime like your team starts sucking, they're like, oh well, Zappe, he's doing really good. He did good when he came in, so let's just start him. And it's like, well, that's not that simple. With Mac being hurt and we named him starter, you kind of got to go with it. And
that's the other thing too.
Go ahead.
That's the other thing is he didn't lose the job like because of Zappe being injured. So that's the other thing is like you've got to overcome that obstacle too, because hey, we don't know if Mac maybe is just coming off injury and he needs to get warmed up or whatever, that kind of stuff. Kind of ease him back into it. Overall, he might still be the better option for the Patriots, even though obviously Zappe looks 10 times better in some ways. So,
and that's another thing too. Like, I wouldn't sell your position short for what you did at Western, because with you being a manager, like y'all would go in and get people's laundry. You would kind of hear people talking and passing because, kind of like at the trainers, people just be talking and they wouldn't pay attention to who's around, and
like
sometimes
my dad would make comments. Well, this is why they did that. I'm immediate like, well, no, that's impossible because this. Like, you just know that that's not possibly true in some scenarios where, like, if you don't have that experience, you might tend to believe a certain way. It's just, that that's not possible because of this. And it's just knowing what goes on inside the building sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
and
anyway.
and like you said, from kind of inside track, and you helped your dad in gambling with Western. So it's great. So another thing I just saw on Facebook real quickly is have you seen the they call them inverted uniforms for Tennessee? Is that what they called them? I'll have to pull it up real quick. Have you seen these? No, nobody's seen these. Okay. So Tennessee has done
no idea. No.
They are
the Vols or the Titans?
The Vols. Sorry, let me pull this up real quick so I can.
Yeah.
Yes, Matt, it's the Vols. I think Matt's on a delay this week, Jared.
It's all right. I got my Wi-Fi fixed, so we're good now.
Really fast.
Whoop, whoop. Tennessee unveils dark mode. Dark mode uniforms. They are black uniforms with like orange highlight, and they look sweet as all get out. And I'm not a big like black uniform fan, but these look sweet. Just Google dark mode uniforms or something. Let me see. I'll try and I will. I'll tag y'all in this tweet.
I think out of all of the things that I would not have believed had you told me January 1st of this year that Tennessee would be a top 3 team in the country, that's probably the most unrealistic thing to me. I would have imagined them being this good.
Okay. I just sent. I just tagged you two in a tweet. I think. I don't know how it works tweets.
Yeah, we know you don't know how to do it. It's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
those still look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those are pretty sweet looking. So honestly, I think those uniforms are a winner. I don't know how they'll do against Kentucky. Historically, I would put my money on them, but you know, it's whatever.
It's like only the third time I think that they've played each other, both of them being ranked at the same time, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
God.
Wow.
Well, because Kentucky always sucks.
Yeah.
In football, yeah, definitely. And Stoops is actually doing like a decent job.
Somehow.
Yeah.
It's that mayonnaise coffee that Will Levis drinks all the time, I guess. I don't know.
God. You heard this, right, Matt? That this dude puts mayonnaise in his coffee?
No, I don't follow
McCay,
Devin. I don't pay attention to
either,
McCay.
but
I guess you do.
I don't either, but apparently there's like a forum for baristas, and Jared found it. I don't know.
Like, if he tried to come into Starbucks, I would just point at the X and be like, "Get out."
Matt, there's a secret master coffee thing, and Jared's a part of it, and he found out about that.
It's a cult.
Yeah, it's a super secret Starbucks coffee
Society.
cult.
Yeah.
Yes. So yes, there's a super secret coffee cult, and we know this guy does this. Ugh. Anyway, is that a random thought? Is that a home game or away game? I'm kind of curious.
For who? Tennessee or Kentucky?
Oh, it's gonna be.
Well, it's going to be for one of them.
I beat you to it.
They should have it in like the most random neutral site imaginable, just because.
Hawaii.
I was thinking like South America or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's at Tennessee. Hey, that'd be a great game to go to be in London. It'd be a great London game, but it would just be so random.
UT Kentucky
in London. That'd be like that'd be jolly good show.
If it was UK basketball, you might sell it out. They'd sell off their trailers and fly over the pond there.
Yeah, that would be. Tennessee's ranked 3rd. Kentucky's ranked 19th. I don't follow Kentucky, so they've lost to Ole Miss, who was ranked 14th. They lost to South Carolina, who's done nothing in 10 years. They beat Mississippi State, who's 16th. So, woo! They play Georgia in about 3 weeks, which will be that'll be a massacre, and then they play Louisville on Thanksgiving week. Looks like ish.
I'll never forget how mad I was when I saw that Mel Kiper Jr. had Will Levis as his top quarterback for the draft next year. And I'm just like, there's not a human being on this planet that can tell me that this man is better than what Bailey Zappi was at WKU last year in college football. There's not a single person on this planet that can tell me otherwise.
No. I agree. Matt, do you have any winners or losers this week? And we'll quickly go to the next segment.
Yep. All right. So I was going to go, the winners would be the small markets. I was thinking about how, like my Titans, small market team, whatever, they're predicted to be horrible and all this crap. And then the Colts are horrendous. And then also the tops, everybody keeps underestimating, how valuable WKU is and all this stuff. And we continue to win and we continue to be interesting. So suck it, people that hate small markets.
Yep.
And also I had a loser. It was Tom Brady's argument against Giselle. He just needs to hang it up, go see his kids, because Giselle's been holding out on him. So just go home, man.
I gotta say, I'm kind of glad Tom came out in retirement just so I could see him fall apart at the seams this entire season.
So,
yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than watching someone destroy their life.
So I was thinking about this today, and this just feels like a biblical curse. Okay, like this is like Bailey Zappi being on the Patriots and having this starting position battle with Mac is like a biblical curse for Jared, who hates to watch the Patriots, but has a Western person there. So he has to show some sort of, half-assed interest, really. I mean, it's the best way to put it.
I mean, we still beat them first game of the year, and we'll probably beat them again, as if Tua is healthy. I mean, we've already lost a bunch of our safeties to injury for the season, too, which is great. But, man, yeah. I mean, the Jets are one of the best teams in the AFC East. I hate everything.
Yeah, that's kind of crap. But Jared, do you have some quick winners and losers, and we'll skip on to the next part?
It's just me being on vacation was the winner, and it's the loser as well because I'm back and I go back to work.
So I'll just cover some quick records here. Women's soccer is 6-8-3. They're 3-5-1 in Conference USA. So way to go, Lady Top Soccer.
Way to go! They have a losing record.
Yeah, they're under 500, but I think they'll pull it up. They're going to pull back.
Go, Lady
they're
Tom
gonna pull
Summer.
up. I haven't checked your schedule lately. I apologize. Women's volleyball is
You just
21
read
and 2.
it.
21 and 2. It just tells me the record.
You just read it, dude. It's a losing record. You don't say good job.
Hey, it could be worse,
Okay,
Matt.
sorry.
Okay, it could be worse.
I guess, yeah, it could be.
Dick. Anyway, women's volleyball is 21 and 2, 9 and 0 Conference USA. Football 5 and 3, obviously 3 and 1. Women's tennis has no record posted. I don't know what that. Anyway, they haven't updated it. So, yeah, definitely. Okay, so other sports, real quick. I just want to talk about a quote from Travis Hudson. And I completely agree with him. He was talking earlier this week. These girls for volleyball have done, this isn't just like, oh, volleyball is good this year. Oh, this is a freak thing. No, they've been good for like the past, 6 years or so? At least 5 years. I can tell you. Yeah,
Longer
I mean,
than that.
these kids have been awesome. And they've been ranked like the past,
On the
2
hill.
or 3 years. Yeah, well, that's been a long time ago. I wouldn't go that far.
Back
They've
in
been
the
great.
90s,
These girls have been great.
Devin was on the hill.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Was not that long ago. I was not on the hill for 20 years.
Class of '99.
But anyway, no. Yeah. That was my starting class. Okay, jeez. But no, these girls
You
have been great.
graduated like 2011.
Hey, the Van Wilder movie was based off me. I'm just saying. Okay, Bert Kreischer can claim it, but it was me anyway. But yeah, he's talking about these girls coming to get these girls to come out and watch the games, and getting people to come watch the girls play and support the volleyball team because I mean they're doing amazing. They can really use your support, and if there's a volleyball match coming up and you got a young girl in high school or something that plays volleyball or is looking to, or a middle school kid, take them out, show them these girls that are doing well, show them what they can do if they want to play volleyball, and support them.
Or if you've got a perverted son, I mean, take them too.
Jesus, man.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're advertising to the fathers of daughters. I mean, what about the fathers of sons? They should come to the volleyball too. Equal opportunity.
I do not advocate for perverts to sit up in the stands with a trench coat on. Okay, man. I'm not advocating.
Just a reminder that Matt's Facebook account was deleted.
Yes, for child pornography.
Oh God. That was one time, okay?
Okay. So, UAB got blazed. That game was wild. I loved it. That was a defensive game, honestly.
It's because I cursed him as I drove by Birmingham last week.
That's what it was.
You're welcome.
And we're going to need you to drive by Denton, Texas next, Jared. So,
it's going to be a no for me, dog. I'll get there in 7 hours too, like I did Florida.
Dude, if you did, that'd be amazing.
That'd be
no
about
joke,
130 miles an hour.
Don't test me.
Honestly, the defense saved us.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, did you watch it?
Amen.
Naturally, the one time we didn't have a game on ESPN Plus was when they have it on CBS Sports Network. I can't just watch it on my phone.
Oh, okay. So Matt, I know you saw it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
Okay, sorry. A little bit of delay, so I was like,
Sorry, man.
Okay, so first off, I want to make a note. To our listeners. I screw up names left and right. So if I slip up and I say something incorrectly, the guys normally correct me. Okay, I'll be like, who? It's like Aaron. Okay, I understand I screwed up the name, and if it was just a slip of the tongue, I apologize. But there was no undercutting of any players by me. By all means, I think that Kai Robichaux is a great running back for Western, and I thoroughly enjoy watching him run. I hate that he has an AC sprain because he was out. However, we got to see Sanders running for Western. LT Sanders. How did you like that, Matt?
Lieutenant Sanders instead of Colonel Sanders.
Yes. Hey, he hasn't been promoted. Don't make fun of him yet. He's a working man officer, right? So he's a freshman, true freshman.
Yeah.
This kid runs hard. Coming out of Gardendale, Alabama is where he's from.
I went through there as well.
He had 16 carries. Let me see. Sorry, it's giving me his all-time stuff since I clicked on his little thing, his little profile. He had 16 carries for 120 yards during this game. He was doing awesome. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, man. The kid was impressive. I didn't hear everything. I don't know. I'm on the left. But anyway, he was really impressive. And I think he needs to be RB2 at least. You know, obviously Robichaux has earned the starting job until he comes back and is definitely lesser than LT, but is averaging like 8 yards a carry for the season. He comes in against FIU and basically sat near the top of the rushing statistics the whole year because of that one game. And then, you know, Jakari Moses hasn't done much lately, and Urban Poindexter is he was also good against UAB, but I mean, I think LT was much better, and he definitely, I mean, they trusted him at the end of the game. I thought that was a huge statement that they put a true freshman in at the end of the game and let him finish off. And I mean, wow, a true freshman coming in like that and doing what he did, especially against a good defense, and all the pressure was on him. Good for him, and that's one of the best true freshman running back prospects we've seen since who? I don't know.
Probably Gage
Bobby,
Walker.
I think was what?
Gage.
Gage.
Maybe
That was his
Antonio.
first year as a running back. Yeah, Antonio. That would be your next one. But honestly, I mean, if he gets the chance to play a little bit, he could surpass Antonio's first year. I mean, I think Antonio had like 400 or 500 yards maybe his first year. It's nothing to sneeze at, but I mean, man, the kid's impressive, and I think dude needs to play.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing too, I've said this for the past couple weeks. Anytime our rushing is over 100 yards, it opens things up, and they really just flipped the script on the play calling this week. We normally are like 70-30 pass to rush, and this week we are 224 rushing to 128 passing. So evidently they saw something in film that said we need to run the ball.
Yeah, well, here's what I saw when I was like kind of breaking it down. For whatever reason, I think their D line is a little suspect because they give up almost as many rushing yards as passing yards. They only give up 170 passing yards or whatever. That was before they played us, but it was like 140 rushing. So I'm like, okay, they're obviously like loading up on the pass and letting people run on them. So I think we saw that too. And a lot of the run and gun philosophy is if you've got the box advantage, run the ball. And so I think we just ran the daggum ball because we thought that was the best way to move the ball. And it turns out it worked. So brilliant by them.
Yes. And of course, I saw this and I kind of commented on it during the game. And I don't know if you picked up on it, Matt, or not, but there was a few times where we did a double stacked receiver set on each side. We would have two receivers on each side, and they would be parallel. And I'm like, I feel like we're setting up for like a double screen or like a wide receiver kind of screen or something. It's like, what are we setting up for? But or maybe they're just trying to get cornerbacks out there. I don't know what the deal was, but it was just it was an interesting formation, and they did it a few times. I think in the second or third quarter, but really just kind of opening up the script a little bit, I think, on some of that offense that we're working on. And let's see, a couple numbers here real quick. Western ended up with 352 total yards, 128 passing, 224 rushing, 11 of 86 penalties. 11 penalties, 86 yards.
Yeah, can we talk? I don't know if we've talked about that much,
Go
but
ahead.
dude, those penalties, man, we've got
Killer.
to get that under control because there was one game and it was FIU that we had like 25 yards in penalties. Every other game we've had at least 50, and we're like outside of the top 100 in penalty yards. Like we're really, really, really bad at screwing up, and
Evidently.
it's different every game. Sometimes like this game, it was like offsides. Like where did that come from? Like they were offsides and gave them a couple first downs. Where's that been? That hasn't happened all season. And then false starts has been horrible. In the fast, so especially rough in the passer and stuff. It's like figure something out and back off. Let's get this together. Minimize it a little bit. There's nothing wrong with playing aggressive, but you cannot screw up that much and be really good. In a close game, you're going to lose.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that totally because like you're saying, like you want the guys to be completely aggressive, but you got to be in control too. Like there's a thin line between the two of being overly aggressive and letting things go too far and getting penalties. I know there was a couple face masks. There was one where an offensive lineman had hands to the face, I'm pretty sure. Just a couple, little goofy penalties like that, and it's just like you can't do that. And I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for the defense, Western could have easily lost this game. And specifically, I'm going to screw his name up. Are you ready for it? Halisi? Isn't it Halisi? Halasi. There you go.
Khalif Halasi.
All right. You said Khalif Halasi?
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to find it here. Oh, yes, I got it. Khalif Halasi. 5 total tackles, 2 solos, tackles for loss. We got a God, I hate ESPN so much.
He basically did everything.
Yeah, he did a lot.
Have we talked about?
He got the strip. Halasi got the strip that got us the ball back. That was it. Evans that ran it back to the 2 or the 5 or something like that. And then Halasi is the one that got the interception right there towards the end of the game that basically sealed it for us. Stop it. I don't know why it keeps doing that. I scroll down to look up his name, and it keeps going back and starts playing. Okay, sorry. I hate that. Anyway, so what were you going to say, Matt?
Well, I was going to say I didn't know if we had really talked about like how they've used him.
Okay.
But what they do, he's like, what is he, second on the team in tackles for loss? I'm pretty sure.
I'm afraid to look. I'm afraid he'll start again.
But he's first or second in like a ton of categories. And by the way, Western needs to update the defensive statistics because they still haven't dropped in the UAB into the team statistics. But anyway, Halasi has the most TFLs on the team. He's second in sacks. He's tied for interceptions. He's got way more PBUs. He's basically done everything. And he's like top 2 or 3 in the defense in literally every single category. And they're using him on the cat blitz, which is a cornerback blitz. And he's really, really good at it. And it's something that to note because I'm certain that the teams are watching and seeing like, oh God, what are we going to do with this dude? He's really good at disguising what he's doing. So good on him. He's really improved.
Good on him and good on the coordinator, the defensive coordinator.
Yes.
For throwing
oh my gosh, man. That dude, he has transformed our defense. I mean, we're now, a top 40 or so defense versus, bottom 20 last year. Incredible.
Honestly, like, here's my thought. Like, I feel like last year we were more known for our offense. Like, this year, I feel like our defense is kind of like not necessarily the stronger of the two, but it's definitely got a leg up on the offense, I feel like.
Well, we can now trust that if we need to win a game defensively, we actually can do it. Like last
Yeah.
year, it would have been laughable to say, well, the defense needs to go win one. But this game, literally, the defense won this game. And there's no question that it was the
No.
defense. And the offense didn't really do jack except
They
be able to
saved
run
us.
the ball a little bit. You know?
Yeah, they
Other
saved
than
us.
that, it's the defense.
Jared, what are your thoughts on the team so far?
I think the UAB win was really impressive to me, just for the fact that I didn't think that we could do it. I mean,
Evidently, yeah.
and I mean, we packed it pretty well too, from what I saw. I mean, that Shaq concert beforehand was a really good decision. I heard that it was like insanely awesome and fun, and I love being able to see those big concerts before a game, draw in people, and see them come to the game. I think it really helps with attendance. So that's really smart on the athletic department's behalf of thinking of things like that. But as far as like the game, I mean, I didn't get to see it, but just looking at the stats, I thought the defense looked really, really good. And the second half of the game, just being able to see how they were able to just kind of control things and keep it somewhat low scoring for obviously Western and everything. But I think that's a really good sign. I hope that we can kind of keep that same momentum, keep that same defensive strategy for North Texas. I know that that's going to be kind of a very close matchup to what we are. So I think that if we win this game, we're already bowl eligible. I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, we're almost at that bowl eligible mark anyways. So I really hope we can win almost all of these games, especially at least all of the conference games the rest of the season. I mean, the Auburn game at Auburn is still going to be really hard the week before the Iron Bowl, unless they completely just overlook us like Miami did MTSU. I mean, that's about our only hope. Well, I mean, they're still pretty bad, but I mean, it's still a SEC team, road environment in November. So, I mean, I don't know how that'll go, but I think the future's looking really good. I mean, we lost a few in a row, which kind of sucked, and they were all really close games too. But I mean, thinking what our record could be versus what it is, I mean, is kind of sad. But I mean, we're getting back on track. Defense is gelling. I love being able to see the run game step up. Sanders, he did awesome. I think that he could be really, really good person to have in the running back rotation, even with Robichaud and everything. So I'm really excited to see how things will go.
I'm excited. You mentioned Auburn. Auburn is 3-4 right now. They're 5th in the SEC West. So they're having a rough year of it.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
They're actually ahead of Texas A&M and Arkansas. So
it's incredible.
yeah, I know, right?
If you look at the preseason polls, this is incredible.
However, I don't know how. Hello, Mr. Cooper. Yeah. He was barking a second ago. I don't know.
What's
You
up,
got to
dog?
teach him to play basketball. That way he can be the next Airbud.
Yeah.
I love those movies.
I know, right? Yes.
Nostalgic.
I will say he is a good cuddling pup, so
That's good.
he's doing good there. Not a big barker.
Yes.
Hey, Cooper.
I
Right?
talk.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go.
Cooper.
Yep. Yep. Okay. You do your thing, dog. Okay. So looks like our Auburn is going to be playing Arkansas this week. Thanks. Yeah, we got. She just left me with the dog. So, Auburn's going to be playing Arkansas this week. Should be a real tough matchup for them. Arkansas is 1-3 right now, 4-3 overall. Honestly, I could see us taking Auburn. I hate to be like that.
It'd be
but
impressive to be able to win that one, especially in their own arena, because we're getting at least over $1 million for that matchup too. So I mean, it's always nice to secure the bag, regardless.
Get that bag.
Well, I mean, we took out Arkansas.
Yeah.
Just saying. I've got a lot.
They
of
were
faith.
definitely worse than Auburn this year.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Auburn's gotten a little better over the course of the season. They were awful at the beginning of the year, like really bad. Had some bad injuries, but I think they're starting to round into shape to be a decent, like not dead in the water SEC team. So we're really going to have to really play well to even hang with them, I think. But who knows? Got 4 more weeks
Yeah, something like that.
till then.
Yeah,
So
a few more weeks before we have to work
got a little
on that.
time to sharpen up, but it's interesting. I think we definitely could beat them, but I think they need a few injuries, or we need to get back on track on offense.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me when we played LSU in that one complete flooding game. You remember that?
Oh yeah, I was there. That was miserable.
Yeah, I know you were. I remember that. It's kind of like that kind of matchup because they weren't like spectacularly good or anything like they would be a few years later. They were just kind of mid. But
Weren't
I mean,
they number
I feel
one in
like
the country?
Yeah.
I think they were
Wait.
ranked they were like number one. But their offense, the matchup was interesting in that one because their offense was horrible, and we obviously have a decent offense. And then it rained, and it just ruined any chance that we had.
Yeah, I feel like if it didn't rain, we would have had a better chance.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely,
that's how
man.
we always end up, though. Like we always play like the SEC number one ranked overall team. I mean, and that's how it was at least when I was there. Like we played Alabama, we played Florida with Tebow, we played LSU. I'm trying to think of who else we ended up. We played Tennessee.
UT.
They weren't ranked. That was when Kiffin was there, and he's a prick. But anyway,
Chicken legs.
I still hold a grudge against Lane Kiffin for that game. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, because it was 0-0 after the first quarter, and they won 63-0.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they tried to throw the field goals into the river that day too. But anyway,
that or the mustard bottles.
Yeah.
Hey, Devin, would you say that was the loudest stadium we were ever in?
Florida was pretty loud.
Florida. I didn't go to Florida.
Florida was real loud. The loudest. I can't think of like the loudest.
I thought
Virginia
Tennessee
Tech
was the loudest.
Virginia Tech was loud for not as many people that was there.
Yeah,
It's just the way they had it like angled. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, they like engineered their stadium to be loud. Like,
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right, with the Tech part of Virginia Tech.
Right.
See, it makes sense though. It's just like the Dolphins making it to where whoever's on the visitor's sideline gets absolutely torched to death in the sun. Like that was an architectural thing they intentionally did. Like I've seen so many pictures where it shows the Dolphins sideline is 80 degrees, and then it shows the visiting team sideline is like 120.
Yeah, and look how much it's done for them.
Yeah, it helps. At least this season it helped us beat Buffalo. That's all that matters.
Jared, final thoughts on the UAB game?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said with the run game especially, I was really happy to see us have somebody with over 100 yards rushing again. It's been a while, I feel like. So that's good. And to see Sanders just kind of come in like immediately and do something like that is really promising. And then just the defense, just holding their own, especially in the second half, just looked really, really solid. Being a big difference compared to the first part of the season, definitely looking a lot stronger. So I think we're heading in the right direction as we start to get into the middle of our schedule and still have these conference matchups that hopefully we should be able to handle pretty easily.
Matt, final thoughts on the UAB game?
Well, I was just really proud of them. I mean, found a way to win against a team that was equal to us. We really need to get the offense clicking back, and we need to try to be a little more creative in the pass game. But I mean, it was a war, and you know, people said, "Well, the quarterback got knocked out." Yeah, we knocked him out. Like that was part of the awesome part of that performance was like we completely earned that, and we finally won a close game. There was a whole lot of positives. It puts us in great position in conference. If we can beat North Texas, man, I think we could almost throw away another conference game and still make the championship. Like now is the time to push and beat North Texas, and let's get on with it, man. Let's get to the championship and win it this year. That's how I'm feeling. Like let's get it.
Yeah, Matt drinks the Kool-Aid, but I agree. Because honestly,
like, get fired up. Go Tops.
I am definitely fired up. But like the next, I mean, North Texas is probably like our hardest game besides Auburn in conference. Like North Texas is like the toughest game we got left. Because you got Charlotte, who's I mean, I'm not saying overlook them, but you got
they just fired their coach. I mean,
well, yeah.
Yeah.
You got Rice, who is pretty much right around the same area we are.
They play
And then you
good
got
defense.
FAU. Yeah.
I think Rice is a sneaky. You look at Rice and you're like, whatever. But they're sneaky good defensively. They're probably like about as good defensively as we are, or so. So if we
Okay.
don't play well offensively, I'd watch out for Rice.
They got that intellectual brutality, y'all. Can't sleep with
Yes, I think Western could be back in the conference championship this year. I mean, I know we lost to UTSA, but I mean, we may get another shot at them. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see how the rest of this season plays out. So we have North Texas this week, and I just want to say my very first trip to Denton was it shaped my mindset of Texas, and I've always hated Texas since. Great catch, great. We played North Texas. It was in November. It was raining and snowing and god awful weather, and I was happy to get out of there. I got packed like khakis and like a rain suit just in case, and I ended up wearing all of them because it was so cold. And that's the game where, oh shoot, his name was
the sledge.
yes,
Is that what you're
the
bringing up?
sled didn't get pulled out. Luckily, I think one of the managers grabbed the sledge before it was ever swung, but it's probably Mark who ran off with the sledge, so they couldn't get it. But
Ask me about that. I see him at the games all the time.
you'll have to, yeah. But that's the game where we started packing everything up, and they were North Texas was on one side of the 50, and Western was on the other, and they were fixing to fight. And I remember somebody threw a football and it hit Coach Wells, and he started yelling at their coaches to keep their players under control. And it was
Wells starting everything.
Yes, but it was like, oh my gosh,
Shocker.
So just looking at the stats here, Western is averaging about 471 yards. North Texas averages about 484. And in yards allowed, we're averaging 358. They allow 471.9. So we average about 37 points. They're averaging about 35. And looks like ESPN's intern has given them 85% chance to win, or 85% chance for us to win, I'm sorry, and 14 for them. I think that's high, right?
Yeah.
I always think they always over-exaggerate us.
I mean, maybe they're looking at our defense and seeing how we've done the past few games.
They base it off of the power index, right? So that FIU win really skews some things for us. I think that's part of it.
Well,
I also think, I also think that we ought to we should win by like 3 touchdowns. I think. Here's how I look at it. They can definitely move the ball. But they cannot play defense. Like you look at what are they good at on defense? There's not much there that they're good at on defense. Their offense is great, whatever, and they can run and they can throw. But defensively, they don't stop people on third down. They don't stop people in the red zone. I'm trying to look at sacks. I don't know what they've done sack wise, but there's not much there that you're like, okay, they could win this matchup and get it done. They do have a couple guys that they got one guy that has 4 sacks, another guy that's got 6.5. So they can get some pressure up front. So maybe that would be the one thing that they could kind of beat us with is blow up the line of scrimmage and, force some turnovers or something.
Yeah.
So I'd say if the offensive line holds, we're going to win by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. So you're thinking it's going to be like a barn burner. We're going to have it's going to be like Alabama versus Tennessee a few weeks back, the 50-point scores,
No, I think the defense will be able to slow them down enough. And I think it'll be a lot like last year where certain teams they have to score 30 to beat us. And if not, then we're going to win by a few possessions. I really think it should be that way. Will it be? If our offense can't produce, then it'll be close. But
Okay.
if we get back on track offensively, I think it's over. It's done before they get off the plane. They might as well just go back to Tejas.
Honestly, like I'm excited to see how Khaleesi does this week. I'm hoping he does good. And Evans and Jawan Jones and some of those defensive players. I think they could have a really good game. I'm hoping. And we'll just have to see as far as how well North Texas's offense does against our defense, and then of course the other way, our defense versus our offense versus their defense. I'm hoping Austin Reed and is he thinking? I don't know, Matt or Jared, if you've seen this. If Helton's thinking that Robichaux will be back this week or what?
I haven't watched the press conference yet or anything, but he's acting like it. My gut says, like you said, it's probably at least 2, maybe 4 weeks. I think he'll probably be out another week, but I don't know.
Normally with like an AC sprain like that, like honestly, like from a medical standpoint, AC sprains are really cool to look at because you'll have like a knot pop up on your shoulder, and like you can't put any kind of pressure on it because it is so painful. So like backpack straps or somebody, if you hit somebody with your shoulder, like you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that was the worst pain of my life. But like normally, like the way we kind of helped like a preventative care was to make like a foam donut, and you would tape that onto their whether it's like their shirt or skin or on their shoulder pads or whatever they were using to kind of keep it protected. And it's a big thick piece of foam to kind of give it a little bit more protection from being hit. And it depends on how well his treatment's going and stuff like that. I'm sure the trainers are doing an excellent job getting him rehabbed and back into it. Jared, what are your thoughts on the North Texas Western game?
I mean, sort of like what Matt said. I think it's going to be like, especially like offensively, like they are a really good offensively team. But I mean, I think that we should look pretty good against their defense. At least I sure hope so. I think this can give us a really good opportunity to get back on track with that.
Yes.
Hopefully get Reed over 300 yards again. That'd be nice. I was just by West Florida, the university he played at over towards Mary Esther and everything. So that was kind of cool to see.
You and your vacation. Can you talk about something else?
No, I mean, hey man, I mean, just do it. Just take a vacation.
I'm working really hard. I don't have time for vacation.
I haven't had a vacation in years.
You're just bragging about your vacation.
Listen, I worked the last 2.5 years getting this paid time off. I'm gonna use it, so I finally was able to. But
and he's gonna talk about.
I wish I had paid time off. I'm self-employed.
Well, I guess you can work for Starbucks. I'll train you. That would be so fun. I would love to do that.
No,
I'm sure that would go over well. No, if some customer complains about their drink being remade, oh my god. I'd love to see what you would say to that. But I mean, as far as North Texas, I mean, you definitely kind of hit the nail on the head with that. I think that our defense I'm glad that they've been looking really good recently. So I think they could be ready for a matchup like this where they're facing another pretty good offense. But I want to see us get some more yards. I mean, I'm good with us having a lot of run yards, but passing yards needs to come back up. I want to see Austin Reed throw for 300 this game. I think he needs to get back on track.
Yes. I'd love to see that. I did like. It does make me feel a lot better with Coach Helton. Some people may have doubted him over the past few weeks with some of the hiccups that have been going on, with some play calling or whatever, armchair coaches want to call out. But for him to kind of flip the script and go straight, not straight run, but a lot of run against UAB, it just kind of makes you feel better going into North Texas. What are they going to draw up to see what'll work, And apparently Vegas has faith in Western too. They got us at a -10. Of course, we're getting a few points for being at home, but of course, Vegas isn't taking into account that Western rarely has like home field advantage. But they're giving us -10, and they're giving us 39.5 points and 28 to North Texas. What's the game on? Like, how can you watch this game if you're not in at Bowling Green?
The Stadium app.
Okay.
You can get on, what is it, stadium.com or whatever, watch Stadium, something like that.
Yes, I do. For those of you who have like Apple TV or Roku, I'm sure you can get the Stadium app from there. That's how I watch it on my Apple TV. I pull it up on Stadium, so that's an option for you. Sorry,
Yeah.
I hope we have a good crew filming this game this week. I'm sorry. I know it's probably going to be a lot of kids from production, but like, do good, guys. Do good.
Come on, we're top 5 broadcasting school. Figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
tops.
There are some of those that I really questioned a couple weeks ago. MTSU, I'm looking at you. So, yes, check out the game. It's 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on the 29th, which is Saturday. Yeah, because Halloween's on a Monday this year. Ugh, that's scary. Yeah. So Halloween's on a Monday this year. So it will be Saturday the 29th, 3:30 p.m. It's supposed to be about 67 degrees at kickoff. So go support the Hilltops against North Texas. They're going to need your support. This is a big game for Western and Conference USA. You know, we've got to win this to keep our Conference USA chance alive. So predictions real quick. Jared, what are you thinking, buddy?
Honestly, I think this will actually be a pretty good win for us. The more that I think about it, especially just like defensively and everything, I think our defense will be much stronger than what theirs is. I say we get back on track offensively a little bit more. I'm going to go tops 30 to, we'll say 17.
Matt, what's your thoughts?
I pretty much think that Western's going to win. I mean, I'm not so arrogant to think that we couldn't lose, but we're really going to have to just not show up offensively for this to be like a close affair. I think if we can get back on track even a little bit, we'll be fine. But I think we're going to have to score some more points than we did last week. So I'm going to say I do think that we pull it together. I think the offense comes together. I think maybe LT Sanders and or Kai Robichaux and Irvin Poindexter come together and really provide a nice running game. And let's say, I'm going to say 45-24 Western over North. Yeah, I like us big, unless we screw up. I mean, but I believe in us, and I think, taste the blood. Like, let's get this one, like take it and let's run away with it and move on.
Yeah.
And send them back to Denton. 45-24.
So I think it, like you said, Western's offense is going to do wonders against their defense, and I think our defense is going to do its job and make some big stops, hopefully against North Texas. I'm going to say 42-28.
Okay.
So we'll see, but we appreciate you all listening.
I found this on the web.
Jeez. Thank you, Siri.
Siri has a prediction too.
Yes, Siri has a prediction. But appreciate you all listening thus far. If you want to support us, like, share, subscribe. It helps us on the algorithm of YouTube and all those other podcasting platforms that we're using. Become a Patreon member if you'd like to support us more directly. If I get 10 members, every 10 members, I'm buying 2 tickets to the game. So if we get 20 members, I'm buying 4 tickets. Okay, stop. Like, Siri's over here, like, listening to me from my phone for whatever reason. Like, the NSA's listening.
2007.
Yes.
WKU versus North Texas. Sledgehammer.
Yes. So if you want to support us there, we're going to be buying tickets to games, sporting events for Western. If you want to go see volleyball play, I'll buy 2 volleyball tickets. If you want to see, you want to go see football or basketball, I'll buy some.
Devin, be sure they know you only need like 9,000 more subscribers on YouTube that you can start getting paid.
Yeah.
So just let's build this thing.
Yes, we need 9,900 more subscribers. Make sure to share it around. But we appreciate you listening thus far, and
Check back next week. We'll be talking about Western and North Texas, recapping it and talking about the next game. So, like always, guys, go Tops.
Go Tops.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you guys.
Peace out, my man.
Have a good one.